Roman Reigns officially reveals his new name, Paul Heyman's favor to CM Punk. Why DIY lost WWE Tag Team Championship on SmackDown. Carmella wasn't brought back to WWE for one simple reason. Backstage updates on how WWE officials see TNA champion Jey Uso's whereabouts during WWE SmackDown revealed. WWE SmackDown Wrestling bashed. Uncle Howdy is being replaced. Paul Heyman makes a highly controversial name drop. Let's dive right in. Paul Heyman's favor to CM Punk. Paul Heyman still owes CM Punk a favor, and WWE fans could soon find out what the best in the world wants. The latter joined the OG Bloodline for Survivor Series, War Games 2024, as a favor to Heyman to help Roman Reigns and his team defeat Bloodline 2.0. It looked like Reigns and Punk were on the same page before things went wrong at the 2025 WWE Royal Rumble. With WrestleMania 41 approaching, CM Punk could be close to cashing in his favor and getting a main event spot at the show of shows. However, he could ask Heyman a few things, as he has an excellent reputation with WWE management. Here are 4 things that could be Paul Heyman's favor to CM Punk heading into WWE WrestleMania 41. Number 1. CM Punk could find himself in a match against Roman Reigns at WWE WrestleMania 41. CM Punk currently has no match waiting for him at WrestleMania 41. However, what happened at the 2025 Royal Rumble, followed by the latest edition of Raw, suggests that the creative team has big plans for him. Following Roman Reigns' attack on the Voice of the Voiceless, fans could see CM Punk demand Paul Heyman to return the favor and get him in a match against the OTC. The angle could work well since Reigns' Wiseman seems to have a soft corner for Punk. A battle between the two sides would be epic for fans, and WWE could even add Seth Rollins to the mix. Once the feud starts, Paul Heyman will remain at the center of the drama, as his loyalty will be tested. Number 2. The best in the world could get back with his former manager. Paul Heyman has repeatedly shown his loyalty to Roman Reigns over the past several years. The two have worked exceptionally well together, but with the bloodline gone, it would make sense to have the Wiseman leave the OTC too. As a repayment to the 2024 Survivor Series, War Games favor, Punk could ask Heyman to leave Reigns in his favor heading into WrestleMania 41. That could cause a major dilemma for Paul Heyman, who could finally decide to join CM Punk. The new pairing would work exceptionally well and give fans something fresh to look forward to on Monday nights. It could also get Punk's world title campaign going after a solid WrestleMania 41 contest. Number 3, he could have Seth Rollins removed from the big match at WWE WrestleMania 41. The rivalry between Roman Reigns and CM Punk is just getting started. Meanwhile, the trouble between Seth Rollins and the two men also heats up as he causes cracks between them. Punk and Rollins hate each other, and they will likely be in the same ring at WrestleMania 41 as a triple threat match with Roman Reigns hangs in the balance. However, the best in the world could piss off the Visionary even more by having Paul Heyman talk to the higher-ups. He could demand a singles contest in the main event of Mania and have Heyman get Rollins excluded from the competition. That could see a vengeful Seth Rollins run interference in the contest and play a major role in its outcome. Number 4, the best in the world could have Paul Heyman betray Roman Reigns. It's nearly confirmed that CM Punk and Roman Reigns will enter the same match at WWE WrestleMania 41. The two men could go head-to-head in a singles contest, or Seth Rollins could be added to make the booking sweeter. In either case, Paul Heyman could significantly affect the contest's outcome. He could repay the best in the world by betraying his tribal chief and helping Punk win. The betrayal would work exceptionally well, especially if WWE plans to have CM Punk win a top WrestleMania contest. It would protect Reigns from a clean loss and open the doors to a singles babyface run for the OTC. Why DIY lost WWE Tag Team Championship on SmackDown. This week's episode of WWE SmackDown witnessed another major twist on the road to WrestleMania 41. This happened during the Tag Team Championship match where DIY were defending their titles against the Street Profits. However, the match ended up in a significant shock when Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford dethroned DIY and became champions. Let's discuss reasons why DIY lost the WWE Tag Team titles on the blue brand. One of the primary reasons behind the title change may have been the last-minute mishap that happened between DIY when Gargano accidentally hit Ciampa with a super kick. It led to Street Profits taking advantage, and they emerged as new champions. This could escalate into an issue between them and may lead to their breakup in the near future. So it's possible that WWE might have the intention to separate the members of DIY. This could be why they lost the tag team titles on the latest edition of SmackDown. The Street Profits are one of the most decorated tag teams in the history of the Stamford-based promotion. So, as we are heading towards WrestleMania 41, Triple H may want to push Dawkins and Ford. Due to this, fans may have witnessed the title change on SmackDown this week. This title change will allow the company to book the Street Profits profits in a strong manner for the showcase of the Immortals. The company could even put them in a multi-man tag team title match or a ladder match where they put their titles on the line. The road to WrestleMania 41 has already witnessed 3 title changes. This all started with Sky taking the Women's World title from Rhea Ripley. In addition, on last week's show, LA Knight dethroned Shinsuke Nakamura to emerge as the new US champion. So it appears that the WWE Tag Team title shift is just an addition to the title changes happening on the road to WrestleMania 41. This title change could be done to bring new twists and turns on the road to the showcase of the Immortals. Additionally, this makes the path to the shows of shows even more interesting and unpredictable. So, adding surprises and twists could be another reason behind the title change on WWE SmackDown this week. Carmella wasn't brought back to WWE for one simple reason. Carmella has been in the headlines recently after she was critical of WWE over how her exit was handled. Wrestling veteran Bill Apter thinks she made a mistake by being so public about it and said that she was likely not brought back for one simple reason. On the latest episode of Sportskeeda Wrestling: The Wrestling Time Machine, host Mac Davis addressed the Carmella interview that happened recently, where she slammed WWE for simply ghosting her and allowing her contract to expire. Bill Apter said that WWE is a company, and the reason she wasn't brought back was simply that there were no plans for her. Apter was somewhat critical of Carmella's outspoken nature and believes that it might be detrimental if she wants to return in the future. I think WWE is a company. If the company doesn't have a plan for you right now, you can take it personally if you want to. But they probably have nothing for her at this point, and to say something bad about the company may make them say, well, we don't want her back. The Princess of Staten Island may not have been active, but she made an effort to pitch a story and role that would justify her being on WWE's payroll, but she never heard anything back. On the Barely Famous podcast, Carmella revealed that she made a pitch to become a manager for a top team as she had nerve damage and wasn't medically cleared to wrestle. The kicker is, I offered to go back to work last summer. I was maybe 8 months postpartum, and I reached out to the head of everything and I was like, I wasn't sure he knew I had nerve damage, but I laid everything out for him and I was like, I can't wrestle, but I'd love to contribute any way that I can. Here is my pitch. I had an idea of working with this tag team and being a manager. Carmella is a huge personality, and I love talking on the microphone, so let me help another team out. However, creative in WWE allegedly ended up ghosting her, and it was in the middle of July, which means the company was on the road to SummerSlam 2024. Backstage updates on how WWE officials see TNA champion Moose. WWE and TNA continue to make wrestling history under their expanded working relationship. The crossover has included interpromotional title matches, plus involvement from top stars such as the Hardy Boys. Sources have revealed a big backstage update on Moose after the world champion debuted for the company. The face of the franchise made his World Wrestling Entertainment in-ring debut on February 25th, retaining the TNA X Division Championship over Heritage Cup champion Lexis King in just under 10 minutes. Moose then feuded with Obafemi on NXT and TNA TV. The grapplers of Nigerian descent locked up at Roadblock this week with the NXT Championship on the line, but Femi retained in just under 14 minutes. WWE officials have been reportedly impressed with the TNA X Division champion. Fightful Select added that multiple sources noted how Moose made a good impression within the Stamford-based company during his recent run. Both of his NXT matches were produced by the legendary Fit Finlay. Moose was courted by previous WWE regimes as there was interest from both sides. He had some talks with Canyon Ceman a few years ago after the former senior director of talent development reached out, but nothing obviously ever came of those discussions. There was talk of WWE using Moose last year during the early days of the TNA partnership. Sources reported then that the Maryland native was very outspoken about wanting to participate in the crossover. It remains to be seen if Triple H and Shawn Michaels will do more work with Moose in the future, but the door is supposedly open. The 40-year-old noted in early 2024 that he was under a 5-year contract. Moose is a lifelong pro wrestling fan, currently cementing his legacy in TNA as its X Division champion. While backstage at a recent NXT event, the former NFL player finally met the NXT boss and Senior Vice President of Talent Development and Creative, Shawn Michaels. What an awesome moment to meet one of the guys I grew up watching, Shawn Michaels. Moose wrote, Moose was the inaugural TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He's also a 2-time TNA World Champion and a 2-time TNA Grand Champion. Jey Uso's whereabouts during WWE SmackDown revealed. Jey Uso revealed his whereabouts after missing last night's episode of WWE SmackDown from Olympic Arena in Barcelona, Spain. Gunther made an appearance in this week's edition of the Blue Brand to compete in a singles match against NXT's Axiom. Axiom is from Madrid, Spain, and got a great reaction from the crowd. The veteran is currently in a tag team with Nathan Frazier, and the duo is the reigning NXT Tag Team Champions. The High Flyer gave it everything he had, but eventually, the Ring General took control of the match match and won via a powerbomb. The World Heavyweight Champion then choked out the home country star following the bout. Jey Uso is currently in an intense rivalry with the Austrian star on WWE Raw. Uso won the Men's Royal Rumble match earlier this year and will be challenging Gunther for the title at WrestleMania 41. Many expected Uso to come out to save Axiom from Gunther, but he was nowhere to be seen. Main event. Jey took to his Instagram story during SmackDown to reveal that he was on his way to Germany. He shared a photo from an airplane, revealing why he was absent from last night's SmackDown in Barcelona. "See you soon, Germany. Yeet," he wrote. Gunther successfully defended the World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event earlier this year in January. Wrestling legend Vince Russo recently predicted that Jey Uso would become World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 41 next month. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Writing with Russo show, the veteran claimed that the Yeet Master has to defeat Gunther at the Show of Shows. He noted that the way the story has been told so far, it must conclude with Uso becoming champion in Las Vegas. "I think the way they set it up, he has to beat Gunther. I'm not saying that's what I would have done, but the way they set up this story, he has to. I mean, he absolutely has to go over at WrestleMania." Uso is a former Intercontinental Champion, but has never won a world title during his time in WWE. Only time will tell if he can become World Heavyweight Champion next month at WrestleMania. WWE SmackDown Wrestling Bashed. WWE SmackDown this week featured a couple of wrestling matches. The show kicked off with a 6-man tag team match. The end of the night saw a major heel team beat DIY for their tag team titles. During a recent episode of Brodown on Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge, Vince Russo said he wasn't a fan of WWE SmackDown because it focused on wrestling matches rather than characters and storylines. "This is not wrestling. There are no characters. There are no stories. It's not wrestling without characters and stories. It's wrestling matches, but it's not wrestling. I am not a fan of this. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I love this. I used to. Obviously, I spent a great amount of my life in it. Yeah, this is not wrestling. This is not wrestling. These are wrestling matches." He continued, "They've gone to the well now 3 weeks in a row. This is the new formula. Have a swerve at the end. Let the first 2 hours and 50 minutes be absolute dog crap. But then, at the end, we're going to have Sky upset Rhea Ripley. Then we're going to have Roman Reigns come out. Then we're going to have the Street Profits. Mac, this is how lame they are." Speaking of Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman confirmed the YTC's appearance for next week. It remains to be seen if Roman will address his attack on Seth Rollins and CM Punk the next time he appears on WWE SmackDown. Uncle Howdy is being replaced. The Wyatt Six, alongside their leader Uncle Howdy, have been away from WWE television for a while now. With WrestleMania 41 looming, the fans eagerly await the comeback of the fearsome stable. The bizarre faction was shifted to SmackDown during the company's first ever transfer window. For weeks, there has been significant speculation revolving around the Wyatt Six and the inclusion of a new leader in the faction. This week on SmackDown, WWE dropped a mystery vignette with a black background and smoke with the number 4 on it. Many are now relating it to a return tease for Malachi Black, Aleister Black. The vignette teased on SmackDown was similar to that used in Malachi Black's entrance. The number 4 might hint at the Wyatt Six members, and he could be the 5th member, replacing Uncle Howdy as the faction's new leader. Having worked with House of Black and AEW and playing dark characters throughout his pro wrestling career, Black is a perfect candidate to replace Howdy. Malachi Black, alongside Ricky Saints, formerly known as Ricky Starks, and Miro, formerly known as Rusev, were reportedly released from AEW last month. While Saints has already made his debut in the black and silver brand, it appears that the former NXT champion is next in the line for a WWE comeback. The 39-year-old superstar's inclusion in the Wyatt Six storyline could revive the hype for the fearsome faction. That said, the angle proposed above is mere speculation at this point. Bo Dallas is the man behind Howdy's mask. Last year, while speaking on the Headlock Wrestling podcast, the 34-year-old superstar shared his thoughts on portraying Uncle Howdy's gimmick in the Stamford-based promotion. The SmackDown superstar revealed the scary stuff that always hooked him and his late brother Bray Wyatt. While his brother Bray got a chance to play spooky characters on screen, he now has that opportunity and feels like a little kid. He feels his brother is around him whenever he plays Howdy's gimmick. With the Show of Shows on the horizon, it will be interesting to see what plans the Triple H-led creative team has in store for the Wyatt Six and Uncle Howdy in the coming weeks. Paul Heyman makes a highly controversial name drop. Paul Heyman made a name drop on SmackDown that left fans on social media stunned. During his promo to promote Roman Reigns' appearance next week, he used a name that nobody expected. While a large chunk of the promo that Paul Heyman cut on SmackDown was somewhat unimportant as it revolved around hyping Roman Reigns a bit and stating it was Roman Reigns' Day, he also took a shot at Seth Rollins and mentioned CM Punk as the 3 superstars look to be on a collision course on the road to WrestleMania 41, when stating that Roman Reigns will be in Bologna, Italy, next week for SmackDown, Paul Heyman told the crowd that all they had to do was buy a plane ticket and fly over to Italy. In a shocking moment, he also said, "It's not like Mussolini is at the border stopping you from getting in." In case you're unaware, this was a reference to the fascist Italian dictator during World War II, Benito Mussolini. While it was a moment that might spark some controversy, it's also highly likely that it was a reference to CM Punk's theme song, Cult of Personality, which features a line saying, "Like Mussolini and Kennedy." This could possibly be a tease for a Roman Reigns CM Punk confrontation on SmackDown next week. If we see another Reigns Punk confrontation, the roof of the arena is likely going to blow off. Roman Reigns officially reveals his new name. Roman Reigns officially reveals that he now has a new name after his return. He has announced it. On the latest episode of Raw, Reigns suddenly returned and attacked Seth Rollins. He inadvertently helped him win the steel cage match by dragging him out of the ring, but he was not done there. With huge stomps and attacks, Rollins was left unable to move. He then saw Paul Heyman with CM Punk, and he attacked Punk as well, destroying both the stars. Roman Reigns has now revealed that the WWE 2K25 cover had come to be only because he had chosen to include everyone. He said that the bloodline was too good and they were too special. They had changed everything. He then went on to officially announce his new name. He said that he's the High Tide. The star works as the High Tide as he not only lifts himself, but every ship around him and gives them a boost. This is what every man should aspire to be right here. It's what they should aspire to do. The bloodline's too good. I'm the High Tide. I lift all the ships. This cover speaks to that. I didn't do it by myself, but I also refused to do it by myself. I could have. We're too special. We changed everything, from my bloodline to yours. Roman Reigns is back as the High Tide, and seems intent on not taking any prisoners at all, as he destroyed both the stars responsible for his elimination at the Royal Rumble, Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Now the three stars are expected to continue their feud, with Reigns set to appear next week. What happens is anyone's guess, but it appears that the trio is heading towards WrestleMania for a triple threat match. The match itself is yet to be confirmed, but with Seth Rollins and CM Punk both determined to get their revenge, it seems to be the next logical step.